Welcome to Direction Northeast. Hello, I'm Stephanie Cartozzo. This program is a presentation of the Communications Department of Northeast State Community College. This episode of Direction Northeast is about the upcoming Northeast State Theater Program's production of Night of the Living Dead. We'll start our discussion following these messages.
Northeast State's a wonderful place to start your career in college, and the campus is beautiful, the teachers are one-on-one.
It was an excellent decision to come to Northeast State. I've learned so much coming here.
I love the school, and everyone is friendly here. This has been the best time of my life. I have really enjoyed being here.
I think if it hadn't have been for Northeast, then I wouldn't feel as happy and as driven if I chose another school.
Step by step, Northeast State is here to get you there. Enroll now at northeaststate.edu.
Based on the classic 1968 horror film by George Romero and John Russo, playwright Lori Allen Ohm brings Night of the Living Dead to the stage. The Northeast State Theater Program brings the action of this horror sci-fi thriller to the Wellmont Regional Center for the Performing Arts from October 25th through November 3rd. Joining me today is Elizabeth Sloan, theater instructor at Northeast State. Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us on Northeast.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you.
So why did you pick Night of the Living Dead to start the semester off?
Last year, we try to learn every year, learn a little bit more. And last year we did 4 shows, 2 every semester. And it almost killed us.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. So we kind of decided, okay, let's stick with 1 show per semester.
Yeah.
A big show to put all of our eggs in one basket, so to speak. And we have to do something that we're excited about, that excites us. And by us, I mean me and the technical director, Brad McKenzie. And who doesn't love zombies? And zombies are so popular right now. The Walking Dead premieres this Sunday. So we thought, let's do a Halloween show. And why not do Night of the Living Dead? And we found this play version of the classic movie. So we instantly, it was a no-brainer.
That's
Brains.
pretty cool. Zombie.
Yeah, see that?
What was it like working with Brad McKenzie on the production?
Well, on this show, I'm acting as the producer. I'm the money. I crack the whip, I suppose you can say. This is my third year working with Brad. Brad's been our technical director now. This is the 3rd year. And it is always a pleasure to watch Brad grow as a teacher, because he is our technical teacher, teaches our students, and as a designer, and as a director. So for this one, last year, he did Oedipus Rex in the fall, which was a huge success. And no one had ever done Greek theater like this. And it was Brad's vision that made it so unique. So for me, as a producer, all I need to do is just trust Brad and let him go. He has a very wonderful, unique vision. And this show, Night of the Living Dead, is going to be a blast. And he somehow has it, I don't know, he figured out how to pay homage to the classic movie and still make it his own. So it's wonderful. And as a director, and I think he's growing and he's getting better and he's learning how to talk to the actors and even better, he's just growing and growing. So
Getting more excited about what's going on.
yeah, he's always been excited about that, but he makes my job easy. He's very easy to collaborate with, and the students learn so much from him. He's a invaluable member of our department.
Was it hard to make such an iconic horror film from the 60s into a play?
It was a unique challenge. We talked about it a lot. Brad and our student designers, we've been working on this since July, and that was for a long time, right? Even before school started, we had students who wanted to come to campus and start talking.
Come to school in the summer.
I know, it was great. They were so excited about it because everyone loves zombies. But we had to have a lot of conversations. How do we pay homage to the film and still make it our own and have design choices that the student designers can learn from and be proud of? So it has been a unique challenge, but I don't want to give too much away. But Brad there's a lot of really cool ideas on this one.
What opportunities and challenges did some of the students face while working on the play?
Yeah, well, like I said, we do have student designers, which is remarkable that they're so in charge. They learn so much. I'm not sure I had that much freedom when I was in college, but we have a student lighting designer, set designer, sound designer, costume designer, and the makeup special effects student. And they're all students, and they have to be in charge. They have to motivate themselves. We have weekly meetings, so every week we get together. They have to come in every day, and long hours of rehearsal, long hours of working. This Saturday we're working from 10 to 10.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of like real world though. Like if you were in the real world working on a production like this, you would be long hours.
Yeah, yes. Theater actually, it's such a lot of hours that you need to put into it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I haven't heard them complain yet, and they want to be here, and they're learning so much. And a lot of these students have already designed with us before, and once again, they want to challenge themselves, and they want to grow. And I think so far they've really set the bar for themselves.
That's really cool too, because I bet they never thought about just coming into like the small community college that they'd be working on such a big production.
It is true, and a lot of that, honestly, my background is in acting. I've always loved the technical world, of course, but when Brad finally came to this department, he really raised the bar on technical theater, and we actually have more designers, students who are designers than we have actors, which is unheard of in most departments, and I think it's a great problem to have. I love it, because we have some fantastic students. I mean, they're amazing designers, and so ahead, I think, of where they would normally be as like freshmen and sophomore students. It's pretty cool.
Where do you think that their career, like this experience, will lead them in their further careers? Do you think like maybe Hollywood or just smaller community theaters?
I have no idea. I do know we have some students who are graduating soon, which is very sad for us.
Oh.
But they're already looking at schools. They've already been interviewing, getting their portfolios together, trying to get some scholarships in the area. So they're going to go to a 4-year school and have even more opportunities. And after that, I don't know, they may go to graduate school or just start working. And luckily for technical theater and designers, they'll have more opportunities for work.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So I'll let you know when we find out.
Okay, cool. Well, also, The Night of the Living Dead would definitely not be the same without the special effects and props. And Richard Curtis worked with you with this. Tell me a little bit about him and his efforts.
Richard's awesome.
Yeah.
He was an art major, and he took an intro to theater class, liked it enough to, I'll take acting class. I had him in acting class, and one day he had done in his past life some faux rock painting. You know, if someone needs I don't know the words. Like he used to paint faux rocks. Do you know?
Oh, just like rocks?
Yeah, no, I mean like a finish. If we wanted to paint this wall to make it look like rocks or something.
Okay.
I don't know. He used to do that in a former life, and we were doing a set of Dracula, and I was like, "Hey, you've done this. Will you come look and tell me if these rocks look real?" And he was like, and out of nowhere, he just broke out some brushes, and it looked amazing in 2 seconds. And after that, something clicked in him. He was like, "I can be an artist with this different medium that's very hands-on, that reaches more people."
Yeah.
And he was hooked.
And it's a job where he can just go and have so much fun with it and just be so creative with it.
Yeah, I mean, last year he did masks for us in Oedipus, and that was amazing. He won national awards, incredible. And so for this, yeah, he's doing the makeup, and I think he's having a ball.
That's pretty exciting.
Buckets of intestines, and
I saw that too.
it's so gross, but it's awesome. And so it's super fun to watch him, I guess, geek out and use his talents so beautifully, because they're gross, but they're beautiful.
It's awesome,
his makeup,
yeah. Well, thank you. Here with a special interview with makeup and effects artist Richard Curtis is Direction Northeast Andy Jackson.
Hello, I'm Andy Jackson. Here today we have Richard Curtis. He is the special effects designer for Northeast State Community College Theater Department. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Good. Well, we're here today to talk about Night of the Living Dead production that's going to be on the 25th of October. Are you pretty excited about that?
Excited, nervous, all in one big ball.
I'd say so. It looks like you've got a lot of work put into this so far. How many hours do you think total so far that you've actually put into this production?
Too many.
Too
We're usually here 5 to 8 hours a day.
5 to 8 hours a day? 5
to 6 days a week.
That's a long time. I mean, it obviously pays off because, just looking at it right now, it looks pretty fantastic. How many years have you actually been into theater, actually?
Theater, probably I'd say about 2 years.
2 years. And the special effects game, how long have you been in that, and what got you started?
Birth.
At birth?
Pretty much. Well, my parents like to watch horror movies, so
Okay.
I've seen Exorcist like when it first came out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a scary movie. I don't like that movie too much, but and And how long do you think, or how long do you project is it going to take for students or actors, actors to get into full makeup before the actual production starts?
We have 10 minutes per actor and 29 zombies.
29 actors playing zombies? That's going to be quite a long time. And tell me about some of the components that you actually put into making some of these prosthetics.
We've got 2-part silicone mixture. We tried it out, and just latex and just trial and error. So we actually found out latex and silicone do not match. They like to separate. So we came up with some new products.
Well, I mean, it looks really good. Obviously, I mean, it's scary. It looks pretty legit. And I know that there's a big bucket of entrails back here that I kind of was peeking at earlier before the show. Can we get that? Let's take a look at that real quick and see what that looks like.
This is our big bucket of giblets.
And what goes into that?
This is pretty much latex and toilet paper.
It smells kind of funky, right?
Yeah, it's got alcohol in it right now.
Oh, okay.
It's trying to sterilize it a little bit. And the blood mixture is just corn syrup, chocolate syrup, red food dye. But yeah, people actually are going to get eviscerated on stage.
And I heard, I've heard some of the talk, in studio that it's going to be big production. It's going to be really, really in your face, kind of, just gross looking almost. But I mean, it looks good from what we can see. I mean, it looks pretty fantastic. All right, Richard, we're looking at some of these prosthetics. I mean, can you give me some detail as to what actually goes into these kind of prosthetics?
Well, with what we have here, what I do is I call it a positive mold.
Mm-hmm.
I just start out with a basic mannequin head, take some wet sculpt clay, do a real quick sculpting on it, let it set a little bit, then I'll get the 2-part mixture here of the silicone, mix it up, and pretty much just put it in any container I can grab and just pour it over, wait for it to dry, take it out, go back with latex, paint, latex, paint, latex, paint. You have to do several different layers. And then once the latex, like this one here, is drying now, when it starts to dry more, you stretch it out.
Okay.
Now that one came off, but you start to get more effects on it. Like this extra scrap latex sitting around, fake teeth that we found, just glued it in. Then we go back and like Skinner here. The main concept is to make it look like his skin has been peeled back, so
right.
He's going to have hair in the back, so I just cut holes, cut up some donated wigs, and just kind of weave them through, seal them in with latex, and paint it.
Oh, well, I mean, it sounds like an incredible process. How comfortable or uncomfortable for the actors is this type of prosthetics? I mean, it's got to be crowded and hot and kind of just smelly, maybe.
Well, it's smelly, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard gross feeling because it's still kind of wet on the inside. They can see, they can breathe, and that's pretty much all they got to worry about.
Well, that's not too bad. I mean, I guess after a while, how many actual? You said there's 29, so are there going to be 29 of these masks made?
No. These are all the masks that are actually getting made.
Okay.
Then we have a few half prosthetics, like the teeth person here.
Okay.
It'll come across, adhere to their mouth, so when they open it, it'll actually move with them.
Okay.
Actually, all of these will be done that way. But the rest of them are only going to get makeup. There's 16, 17 now, they're only going to get makeup.
Well, that's not too bad. I mean, it seems like a lot of work has gone into this. Just imagine making 29 of them. It would seem a daunting task for sure. And as opposed to these, sitting on the mirror right here, these little prosthetics. I mean, what are those? Is that the same process or?
No, this is latex.
Okay.
I'll do a negative mold
Okay.
on these, which I take the clay. I'll sit down and like hand sculpt it out, let it dry, and pour the latex, so you get this. It's all hand carved. I get the muscle tone to it.
Yeah.
Put some teeth into it, and this just pretty much just fits on the side of the face.
Oh wow.
And once you use spirit gum and attach it, as they move their mouth, the teeth will actually
Nice.
move with it.
Well, I mean, how long do you think that one particular aspect took?
This was about 10 minutes.
That's not bad.
No, not for me.
Yeah. And then obviously the rest of these are going to go on as well. And then these are just different processes, right? I mean, it's the same thing in result, but it's just going to be different stages.
Yes, these started out that way. I added more latex because actors' faces change.
Right.
That way it'll cover more area. This one here is going to eventually be a neck wound.
Oh, cool.
So it's just, we're just playing around at this point. I'm pretty much caught up, so now it's just the fun part.
Now it's just waiting around, really get a chance to do the creative part. How easy is removal of these prosthetics? I mean, it seems like a lot goes into it, but
We use spirit gum.
Okay.
And any actor that's ever dealt with spirit gum will tell you it's awful. We actually have spirit gum remover. And that's not bad, but if the actor tries to take it off themselves, it'll take skin with it.
Oh, geez. So better look out for that. Yeah. All right. Well, we definitely appreciate your time, Richard. Definitely good luck with the production, and we hope the best for you.
Well, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Make sure you come see the show.
Will do. I'll be there. Thanks.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming on Direction Northeast, and just giving some advice. And I'm pretty excited about this show. So
thanks for having us, and thanks for letting us talk about it. Thank you.
That's exciting. We'll be back with Brad McKenzie after this break.
Business, medical, and financial institutions must have confidence in the data that they use. Information assurance is the strategic use of technology and software to protect data from internal and external threats. Northeast State offers an associate's degree program designed to fill the demand for information assurance professionals. The Information Assurance program offers hands-on personal instruction. Northeast State Community College is an accredited institution offering financial aid and job placement. Northeast State, we're here to get you there.
Joining me now is Director Brad McKenzie, Adjunct Theater Instructor at Northeast State. Brad, thank you for being with us today on Direction Northeast. So what was it like to direct Night of the Living Dead?
It's been a crazy ride, right? Because you've got these people in this extraordinary kind of situation where they're trying to work together to survive the zombie apocalypse, I guess. And got zombies busting through windows, you've got guns firing, you got people getting guts pulled out. Like it's been wild.
That's insane. Why do you think people are so fascinated with zombies or the living dead?
I think as a culture, we have very kind of, we like the idea of a doomsday, right? Because we lived through Y2K when the world was going to end and all that kind of stuff. And I think zombies are a thing that people can concede that if it were maybe a virus, that it's something that is in the realm of possibility.
Well, also with like shows coming on with zombies and stuff, it's kind of pulled the culture in. How is this production any different than the ones that you've done before?
Well, this show is really grounded in realism. And before I wax poetic on that, let me kind of explain what I'm talking about, right? This was a film that was written into a play, which we are presenting like a film, if that makes any sense. So, because in a film, you can control the camera angles, right? And overlay a soundtrack, and you control what the audience sees, right? This case, we can't control the camera angles, right? But to make it as realistic as we can, we have lamps and sconces. It's going to be lit very differently than you would think of when you think of going to see a play, right? So at some point in the show, the power goes out, right? And it gets very, very, very dark to where you can barely see the actors on stage, right? But you can hear what's going on, which I think is more terrifying.
That's more scary, because I think a lot more people are scared of the dark than they are what they can actually see. So what kind of reaction do you hope to get from people after they see this play?
Well, I hope people will have fun at the end of the day, right? I hope that some parts are scary, right? Well, the original 68 film, right, was the first real film to inject zombies into the mainstream, I guess. And when we go back and watch it now, it's a little campy, right? It's just a little bit cheesy. But what we've tried to do is actually like bring it into the current, right? It's still set in the 60s through costumes and set and hairstyles and all that, right? We've updated the zombies to where they're more of the Walking Dead style zombie, I guess, right? With stuff hanging off, and guts swinging out, right, and all that. But it's real, and how would people react if this really happened, right?
It's pretty scary, because like on the Night of the Living Dead, the film, the 1968 film, the makeup was literally just white and black, and now it's the gore and the face ripped off and like cannibalism. Do you think it kind of scares people to think that maybe this could happen?
I do.
Yeah.
I do, right? Because I think part of what's terrifying about zombies is the lack of hope. Because there is an impending doom, because you can just continue to run away, but the zombies, no matter how slow they move, you can't stop them all.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think there's a difference between zombies and the living dead? Is there a difference?
Well, zombies is actually never mentioned in the script at all,
Okay.
right? Because zombies, I think, come from the like Haitian voodoo and black magic and things like that. In the play, it's a probe from Venus crashes and unleashes like extraordinary amounts of radiation, which I guess it's almost more like a virus maybe then it animates the dead flesh.
Is that how they originally portrayed people becoming zombies? Because now it is a virus, but it's not a radiation or anything.
It was a radiation in the original film. I think originally zombies were almost like puppeteered by a voodoo priest or a witch doctor or something like that.
It's pretty exciting, this production, because
Oh, yeah.
everybody is just, right now especially Halloween and stuff, and people are fascinated with zombies. Can you see that you've challenged the students any, just because Elizabeth put you high on the pedestal? Do you think that you've challenged the students?
I do, because most of the shows we've done, we've taken great artistic license with. For example, Wizard of Oz, we did like a 2D children's storybook, right? And Oedipus Rex was very dark, and we used masks, and right. But this is one of the first chances our students have really had to work with a realistic play that's grounded in realism, to where like the house has to look like a house, right? The people have to be dressed how the people were dressed in the 60s, right? Like down to the minute detail, because it is a period piece, right? And most of the time when people think of period pieces, they think of, Pride and Prejudice or Shakespeare or some, right? So they get the challenge of doing a period piece, which when they get out into the world of theater, they'll do lots of period pieces, right? But this is a fun period piece for them to try to do.
I know we walked on the set earlier, and it was just like stepping back in time to the 60s. Can you see any way that this production has challenged you at all? Like had to show more of your talents, or?
The way that I talk to actors is a thing that, because I'm a designer by trade, so still kind of new to the directing thing, right? And there are different kinds of directors I've worked with in the past, because I actually have my undergraduate from East Tennessee State, and I was an actor there, right? Some directors are what I call traffic cop directors, where they stand here and say it like this, right? And the student doesn't grow or learn anything like that, right? So we have to talk about their objectives, right? And their verbs, and why are they making the choices that they make, right? And believe it or not, I've tried to actually steer away from the movie, because sometimes in rehearsal we'll have moments and the actor will say to me, well, in the movie, it's not like that. Well, we're not trying to recreate the movie scene by scene, right? We're trying to create our own thing that lives in that world.
That's good too, because you don't want to base the whole thing on the movie, because then you'll get criticism from people saying you didn't do it exactly like the movie.
Right.
Are you afraid of any criticism, or are you just ready to just go full force and just have a good time?
I don't think you can be in this business and you can't worry about your critics, because there's going to be critics no matter what you do, right? So we've all jumped in head first, and we hope the audience will come along on that ride with us.
Okay. And as we said, the show will be on November 25th through
October 25th.
October 25th. Okay. So can you tell us anything else about the production?
It's going to be very atypical to the things people are used to seeing, I think, when they think of going to see a play. For example, I mentioned all the lamps and sconces and things like that, right? So the set is very close to the stage, right? So there's not going to be much separation between the actors and the audience, right? There's going to be a little bit of suspension of disbelief, I guess, because there is a cellar on stage, pardon me, and then the ground floor of the house, right? Because all we see is the interior of the house. But I've never been to a play where, like, if the power goes out, can't see.
Yeah, like
right?
I've never heard of that. Like,
and we've gone so far as we're actually going to have actual blank firing guns, right?
Oh,
so it's going to be a loud. There's going to be a lot of loud sounds, right? It's not going to be like the comedian Gallagher, like there's no splatter that people have to wear ponchos, and it's nothing like that, right? But there is some stage violence and some combat, right? And it's nothing too explicit or gory or gross. It's just because I'm a big fan of what you can't see.
Yeah.
It's more scary than what you can.
That's so true. With definitely what you can't see is a lot more scary, especially with Halloween and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, congratulations on the show, and
Thank
hopefully it'll be a huge success. And thanks for being on Direction.
Crossed.
Yeah, keep your fingers crossed. Thanks so much for being on Direction Northeast.
Of course, thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment to wrap up Direction Northeast.
What if there was a place
where your mind is nourished,
your time respected,
a place where you don't feel lost in the crowd,
where you get the attention you need
and deserve?
What if that place is right here?
Right here, all along.
Over 80 programs of study,
A main campus.
And convenient teaching sites.
Unlimited potential.
Right in your backyard.
Northeast State.
Northeast State.
Northeast State Community College.
That concludes the program for today. We have looked at the upcoming production of Night of the Living Dead at the Northeast State Wellmont Regional Centers for the Performing Arts starting October 25th and running through November 3rd. Community is very important to students at Northeast State Community College, and this program takes a look at the few of the subjects they find important. Until next time, on behalf of students, staff, and faculty of Northeast State Community College, I'm Stephanie Cartozzo, and this is Direction Northeast.